Hello, and you are very welcome to Cut Through the Noise with myself, Aisling O'Rourke, the podcast that helps business leaders elevate your communications and marketing with clear communication tips. This is our special series where we focus in on communicating your environmentally friendly credentials with your audience, because let's face it, we all have to become more sustainable and environmentally friendly in how we do business going forward. If not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because European regulations are coming down the track thick and fast. Now, of course, when it comes to communicating your environmental credentials, storytelling is a huge part of that. So I thought for today's episode, we'd focus in on a company that does that particularly well and is very sustainable and environmentally friendly in how they do business. So I'm delighted now to be joined by Creative Director of The Factory, Lisa Dooley. Lisa, you are very welcome to Cut Through the Noise.
Thanks so much for having me on, Aisling.
So, Lisa, for people who haven't heard of The Factory, in a nutshell, what is it that you guys do?
Sure, yeah, it's kind of hard to say in a nutshell because we do a lot of things here. But essentially, we're a small business with a big focus on sustainability. What we provide in terms of services is graphic design, like branding or report design, website development. We also are big into printing and signage, with trying to make those like outputs as sustainable as possible in terms of material and how they're produced. On site, we generate our own green energy through solar and wind. We also manage about 5.5 acres of land for biodiversity, which includes strategically planting native Irish trees and shrubs and wildflowers that promote biodiversity. We have 5 beehives. We have an owl box, and excitingly enough, we have new residents in the owl box we discovered last month. So that's really exciting. We have an owl family with 4 owl chicks, which is really exciting. And I think that's a testament to the biodiversity efforts that we have going on here. We only installed the owl box a year and a half ago, and we were told that it could take up to 8 years before an owl would move in, but they moved in pretty quickly. So I think that's a great sign. And then, as I said, we try to source as much the most sustainable materials as we can to provide that for our clients, who can then, I guess, have more environmental alternatives. So yeah, that's not really a nutshell, but anyway.
That's okay. It's like in what you do, it's such interesting work. And just for transparency's sake, the lovely people at the factory do my business cards and little things like that for me. So just to be totally transparent, but like it's an interesting area to be in when it comes to sustainability, because, you know, I think we have the wrong perception that by being more sustainable and environmentally friendly, when it comes to products, that they will be somehow less than, that, you know, the colors won't be as punchy, or that there'll be something lacking because we can't have the plastic, or we have to use different types of ink. But I know, because, well, I've bought your products, but also because I've seen them in action, that that's not the case, that your standards have not been reduced to meet your environmental credentials.
Oh, absolutely. So I think a lot of people think that there is a compromise there, whether it's sustainable materials or a compromise in their business day to day by pursuing sustainability. But really, from our experience, it adds value to everything that you do. It adds value to your product, it adds value to your brand. And I guess storytelling is very much a big part of that, in making sure that it adds value to your brand. So for us, I think there obviously has been initial investments and time and energy put into it, but they are investments well worth taking, especially as you were saying at the start of the show. There is going to be a lot more red tape and regulations. So the faster you do it, the more benefit you get, the more boost you, sorry, can I say that again?
This isn't my No, you can't. You're grand.
The more boost you have for your brand.
Yeah. And I think it's really important that we're really honest, because this is a podcast around how we communicate what we do and how great our businesses are to our target market. And the market wants companies that are doing the right thing. The markets want to know that, and like statistically, even it's something like if you share your values with your target market as a business, that if they're aligned with your customers, they're something like 55% more likely to buy from you because your values align with theirs. So there's a very strong business case, and obviously the regulations coming down the track help all of that along.
Yes, agree more.
So talk to me then about how you in the factory go about sharing the story of what it is that you do, because I know you have been very, that has been a major part of your role as you came into the business.
Yes, sure. So just to go into a bit of the background of the business. So we've been in operation now for 24 years. My parents founded the business back in 2000. And at that time, there was actually a sustainability core in the business, but there wasn't that much awareness. So there was no real business benefit to sharing the story because people didn't understand the importance of being sustainable and the impact of global warming. But in more recent years, that has shifted. And I guess we rebranded in 2000. And this is, I guess, pandemic time as well. And we'd lost a lot of business because of the pandemic. A lot of events weren't running anymore, and we very much relied on events for a lot of our work. But whenever we rebranded, the big part of that was to tell the environmental story of the business and talk about that core, what we believe in, what we care about. It's not like it's authentic. We're telling a story that we're passionate about. And I think the people who view the website or hear about our story, they get that. They know that we're passionate and values align. And even though we lost a lot of local business, we gained national business. So now a lot of our clients are coming from all over Ireland. And before we rebranded and before we really started to tell our story through our website, through social media, it was very local, and now it's national, which is really exciting.
And so you found that your parents founded the business in 2000, 2020 comes around and, the pandemic hits and you guys rebrand. And in that 4 years, you've grown substantially as a result of sharing your story. So how did you go about doing that? Because sometimes when we say, share your story and, the rest will follow and all of that, it's like, yes, but what story? How do I share it? So what was your approach to it?
Well, I think a lot of the most successful businesses, there's a purpose behind them. There's a really solid, tangible purpose to why they're in existence. It can be something to do with environmental responsibility. It can also be social responsibility, animal welfare, like something, or even just like, I don't know, putting happiness out into the world, just something that really, I guess, answers a fundamental problem that people care about. And I think if you can like tap into whatever that is in your business core and try and communicate that to the business, and think about business as a vehicle for good, not just making money, like that's almost like a consequence. But yeah, I think if you can do something good with your business, it's going to boost your business profile. You're going to be a healthier business overall. If you're more sustainable. So things that we did. So I guess I grew up with sustainability. As I said, that there was always a sustainability core in the family business. So I kind of grew up understanding about the climate crisis. So there was always that kind of in my blood, I guess, in my DNA to care about that. But there's other things that you can do. Like we did a 3-minute manifesto. This is something that anyone can do. So basically, you just put on a timer for 3 minutes and you start writing out, what do you want to do with your business, your life? It can be whichever. And you'll be surprised in only 3 minutes how much you like actually know deep in your core what you care about, and just get it out into paper. And that will kind of like a really, really quick exercise that can really help shape I suppose, your business mission or your personal mission. It can completely overlap. So that's something that I stole from this amazing guy called Bruce Mau. He's like a design thinker, and he really cares about, I guess, design thinking for good, for change. And I think with any business, you need to have, you're solving a problem, which is fundamentally what design is. So whether you think of yourself as a designer or not, if you're a business owner, you're solving a problem, you are designing in some way, and there is creativity in that. And I think to be the best business owner, business person, manager, you need to think creatively and think differently and think for yourself as well, I think. And I think if you think for yourself, then you'll have an authentic story to tell, and that will resonate with other people.
So for people listening to this, for the factory, what does sharing your story look like? You know, we might, like, say, I remember, like, and just when you were speaking there, I was thinking about, and I think it was from the 90s, maybe late 80s, the famous Apple poster, Think Different, with the Apple logo in the middle of it. So is that, you know, sharing behind the scenes on your company LinkedIn? Is it how you craft the text and the copy on your website? What does it look like for people?
Yeah, I think definitely at the start anyways, it was the copy, like crafting what that would sound like to try and like communicate our message in the fewest amount of words possible, like in a punchy, straightforward way. But that, I suppose, core value in how we do business trickles down into all our communications. So that's, I guess, a part of your brand is your tone of voice and your messaging. So for us, it very much is a part of our brand, if you know what I mean. It's not just a by the way thing. So we will share informational posts about sustainability, whether it's like what you can do as an individual or as a business. So that's oftentimes on our Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And then, as I mentioned before, as you were saying, the website copy is also really important because we do get a lot of organic searches through Google. And I think the website is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the world has gone AI crazy, but SEO is not going away anytime soon. So the copy that's on the website is absolutely vital, that it's singing what you are doing to the widest possible audience. And one of the things that yourselves in the factory do that I think is, it's very cute, but it's impactful. When I got my latest batch of business cards, they came with a passport of the ingredients, and like it was just such an elegant, like simple in a positive sense, you know, an elegant way of telling me where the ink was sourced, where the paper was sourced, what the impact of my product was. Do you do other things like that?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. So like all of our packaging will be considered. So we make sure that all of our packaging is plastic free, and we try to reuse as much as possible. We also have these little stickers that we put on to reused boxes that say, I'm reused packaging, you can reuse me too. So if someone is getting like a box that looks like it's seen better days, they understand that there's a reason why they're getting this box. It's actually adding value. It's not a compromise. It's better. And then by incentivizing them also to reuse it. And then, as you mentioned, the product passport is a really amazing thing because it incentivizes the customer who has worked with us, like giving them, I suppose, like that feel good sort of feeling that they've chosen a more sustainable option. And this is also something that a lot of people will share on their social media. So it gets our brand out there to the wider audience too. So it helps other people, I guess, tell our story, which is great.
Well, like that's exactly what a business wants, really, isn't it? That your clients are going to post on their social media channels about you and the work that you do. So given that we're now in, like, I hate to say this out loud because I feel like I'm wishing the year away, but we're over halfway through 2024. So you're 4.5 years into this new way of doing business and a new way of communicating your business, I should say, because sustainability has always been at the core of your business. Would you confidently say that it has been, like, let's be really straight to the point on it, as it has it been a business benefit for you?
Yes, definitely. So whenever we decided that we were going to invest in the solar, so that's 66 solar panels, a 2.4 kilowatt wind turbine. It's a small turbine, but it is, it does generate a substantial amount of energy. And then we also invested in batteries. That was a huge, I suppose, leap to take because there's a lot of capital there. But a part of our strategy was thinking like this is going to add value to our product and service, because we're going to tell people what we're doing and they're hopefully going to resonate with what we're doing and want to work with us. And thankfully that gamble, that risk has paid off, and that has been the case. So yeah, I think to answer your question, in short, yes.
Does it mean, because you are a family business, does it mean that your business is now more sustainable in the long term, like that the family business can continue? Because I know for many who run family business, that's always a concern, isn't it? That you will be able to continue to pass it on through the generations. So in doing this and being ahead of the curve, have you secured the future of the business?
Well, I think so. I mean, if you really think about it, if you're going to run your business in an unsustainable way, ultimately you're going to fail anyways. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. The quicker you become sustainable, the more likely you are to succeed long term. It's in the fundamental meaning of the word, really. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to do it. The sooner you do it, the bigger benefit you have in terms of telling your story, like adding value to your product. You will stand out from your competitors if they're not quite there yet. So the quicker you do it, the better it is. The more reward you'll get. And then we're all going to have to do it, whether, with regulation. So you might as well do it now and then tell your story while you're doing it.
Well, Lisa Dooley of The Factory, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on Cut Through the Noise. If people are interested in finding out more about what you do, where can they find you?
So they can find us on our website, thefactory.ie, and then we're also on Instagram at thefactory.ie, and I think we're the same on LinkedIn and Facebook and everywhere else.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm delighted to have been able to have this conversation with you.
Thanks so much, Aisling. That was great.